Good evening. It's my second video in the sunset series, and I'm still struggling to get the perfect night or the perfect sunset setting, but this is much better than the first one. We can see the sun at least. To the right, not sure if you can hear it, there's some fires going. The farmers are burning the dried out rice after the harvest, but it's about 5 p.m. and the sun is now setting quite quickly. And our topic for tonight is how to choose the right spiritual path for yourself. How to choose the right spiritual path. Now, if you are considering going on this journey, this personal realization journey, you must know that it is a personal journey, a personal choice. It is not something that anybody can tell you which way to go, how to do it, which spiritual teacher to follow, if any. There are so many gurus, teachers, spiritual leaders out there, and it's the same with all organizations in the world, I guess, where you don't always know that person's motives, and if they really have your well-being on their hearts. So, first point, know that this is your personal journey, your personal choice. And you need to be comfortable in all parts of this journey, this path. And hopefully this video can just point you in the right direction. This video is not going to tell you what to do or where to go specifically or who to listen to. That is something that you need to follow your heart. You need to listen to your intuition. Your inner self, your higher self has all the answers. Meditate on it. Consider it, ponder it for some time, but don't use the mind. Turn away from the mind when it comes to this personal choice. Now, last time, quickly, I just want to mention in the first Sunset series video, I mentioned why this channel, Soul D, is faceless. It's for the simple reason that the message is the important focus. And Soul D wants you to listen, focus, and watch the beautiful sunset as you listen and absorb whatever is said. Not everything that is said here is going to maybe resonate with you or be relevant to your life, but focus on the parts that moves you and makes a difference to you as an individual soul. Now, I'm not sure if I should start with this quote or leave it for the end. So I think I'll leave it to the end. It's a very beautiful quote that I saw just yesterday or about 2 days ago, doesn't matter. And I'll share it with you later. Let's get into the topic, choosing the right path for your spiritual journey. So like I said, this is a deeply personal journey that requires introspection. openness. You need to be open with yourself. Like I said earlier, what do your intuition, your feeling tell you about everything, from how much time you're going to spend, how you're going to meditate, are you going to read certain spiritual teachers' materials, listen to their videos online? What are you going to do? Are you going to spend time alone in nature? If you have that luxury, like Solitude spends every evening, every day here in the subtropical areas around the rice fields, surrounded by nature and animals and silence. It's beautiful. Now you also need a willingness to explore. Be open and willing to explore things that were programmed into your mind and that you might even now still believe that is true, and that you have to do it or you need to do it to have a so-called perfect life, or the life that you desire. You need to explore alternative ways, alternative truths to what your mind tells you every day is the truth. Now, with countless traditions, philosophies, and practices available, it's quite difficult finding a path that resonates with your core values and leads to genuine growth for you. So this choice can seem quite overwhelming. So you need to focus on what is your core values, and will you get genuine growth, spiritual growth from this path. Now I'm going to give you some key considerations that can guide you in selecting this spiritual path. So under the heading self-reflection, and then understanding your own intentions here. So this comes into what I said earlier. Choose. If you want solitude, do you want to be by yourself, like Soul D is? Or do you want to join a community? This is a very important consideration, because it's very different. In a community, it's maybe a little more active, a lot more talking, noise, activities, or do you prefer this kind of solitude, surrounded by nature, the sounds of nature, the smell of nature? But this is an important choice you need to make. Now, ask yourself what you seek. Are you seeking peace, enlightenment, healing, some sort of connection, purpose? Or do you seek understanding? Are you looking for a structured tradition with rituals and community? Or do you prefer more solitary, meditative approach? So you need to clarify your goals before the time. This will help you narrow down the options, and then also align your pursuit with your true self. This is very important. In one of my previous videos, I mentioned that you need a harmony between mind, body, true self, soul, heart. If there's no harmony, there's going to be discomfort. There's going to be conflict in making choices like this. The next point you need to consider is exploring different traditions, if that is the way you want to go, a community. Trusting your intuition is crucial. If there's no trust, if you are not used to listening to your intuition, this choice is going to be a struggle. So you need to get to that point in trusting your intuition. This you can do by practicing on a few situations or events in your life. This is what Soul D did many years ago. Said, okay, don't listen to my mind. I'm going to trust my feeling and see how it goes. And after, I don't know how long it was definitely not years, it was months, the trust came. Now, and for the last 10 plus years, Soul D only listens to his intuition. The intuition is the wisest, knows everything. It's connected to the all, the one, the everything. And the best way to communicate or to feel or to be able to listen to your intuition is through silence, meditation, being completely still. You need to pay attention to how you feel, like I said, and explore different paths. So consider the different paths, like I mentioned earlier, and then go inside, go inward, and see what is the feeling. Do you feel comfortable with joining a community, one of the different religions? Or do you want to go down your own path, single, solitude, in nature, only following your feeling on everything? Trusting that inner voice will help you select the right path, a path that will feel authentic to you. And this will put you on a very unique journey. So being able to trust your intuition, listening to it is very, very important. I say it again. Next, you need to be open to evolution. Be open to evolution. Remember, your spiritual path is not fixed. It can evolve as you grow, as you learn and encounter new experiences, new teachings, new videos, new books, whatever you choose. Be open to evolve. Don't set your mind and everything on this is what I'm going to do and that's the only thing that I want to do. Flow with life. I say it in many of my videos. You have to flow with life. Allow life to come in and take your hand and lead you, and then you follow. And that means that things are going to change from time to time. Sometimes, for a long time, nothing changes. It's okay. Flow down that river, that river that's heading down to the ocean. Just trust it, flow, because the ocean is where you're going to end up. Where all the souls, where all the oneness, where all the one energy is, there at that ocean, that's where you are going to end up. And to get there, you need to relax. You need to lie back and flow down that river. And that means whatever comes your way while you're floating with life, while you're floating down that river, accept each moment as it comes. Quite a few videos before I mentioned acceptance of the now is so, so important. Don't fight it. You're going to cause yourself more suffering, more pain. And then the last point is be patient and be persistent. This is a major requirement for this journey. If you are not going to be patient, if you are not going to persist, don't even start. Don't even start. That is my personal opinion. Don't force it. But if you're ready to find the right path, know that it might take time and experimentation. You need to be able to experiment with different ideas and different directions you need to go. Be patient with yourself, and please don't rush the process. Consistency is important. You need to practice, reflect, be open, and you need to be consistent in these practices and also with your meditations. And this will gradually clarify what truly aligns with your soul. Now, as the sun is disappearing almost behind those thin clouds, that thin layer of clouds, let me give you a few final words for tonight's video. Remember, choosing your right spiritual path involves being self-aware. It involves exploration, alignment with your core values, practicality, community support if you go that way, and then, most important, trusting in your intuition. It's a journey of discovery, growth, and authentic connection. One that unfolds uniquely for each individual. It's not going to be the same for you and another person. So don't compare your path with others. Embrace the process with curiosity. Be curious, explore, and be compassionate, knowing that your spiritual path is deeply personal, and travel towards understanding and fulfillment. Now that brings me to the quote that I mentioned in the beginning. And this is a profound realization that came to Soul D about 2-3 months ago. Like everything in this physical 3D world, even the spiritual path is ultimately an illusion. There's no clear path. There's nothing you can see. And this quote that I saw was, there's no path. Just walk. Just walk. By just walking your path, or I shouldn't mention the word path, by just walking, you will create the path. Remember, a path is something you find here out in the wild, in the bush, where the animals walk every day, people walk every day. They tread their own path. And for that path to have been there, there must have been 1 or 2 people that walked there for the first time. And that is what you need to do. You need to walk there for the first time. You need to create that path. Good luck, and please subscribe, follow, leave a comment. If you need any more information, please contact us.